Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you, now is a great time to stop smoking. It's been said that if you give a smoker a rope, he's bound to hold on to his habit. What we're going to do today is try to reverse this statement by giving the pros and cons and effects of how this one cigarette can negatively affect your entire lifestyle. The first effect that we're going to look at is cost. It's been stated by health.com that taxes and product pricing are continuing to rise in order to decrease the amount of consumers that will buy the products of cigarettes. This is becoming slightly effective in the United States, but is continuing to be a problem for smokers all around the world due to their addiction. The biggest motive in the aspect of cost is medical illness. Medical illness calls for very pricey care, and when put in the hospital, many of us know that there's no cheap way to go about this. So we want to make sure to encourage smokers to continue to strive for healthy lungs so that something like this in their lungs does not occur, putting them in the hospital for long periods of time. As you can see, there's a lot of gray and black areas in their lungs, which is causing their lungs to be very hard and dense. And also this heart here is irregularly enlarged due to the amount of work that one is asking their heart to do just by smoking this one cigarette. So like I said, we want to keep in mind that this stick here can only negatively influence you. Some people would say that something like this cigarette would be a very good stress reliever, but once you get done hearing my speech today, you'll be able to hopefully see the other side of things, that maybe this one cigarette might not do as much help as you think for your stress. The next aspect that we're going to talk about today is animal testing. We've been shown to continue to increase the amount of animal testing that we are doing with cigarettes. We want to look back to the 1970s when they started animal testing on beagles. They were called smoking beagles. They wore masks and were continuing to be used for testing in order to ensure product efficiency and pricing, and to test the effects, positive and negative, of cigarettes on a day-to-day basis. Following animal testing, sleeping habits has become a very big issue for smokers. It's been said that smokers are 4 times more likely to develop a dyspnea. A dyspnea is just a dysfunctional sleeping pattern, but if you keep in mind what I said, 4 times more likely to develop this than an individual who is not participating in the activity of smoking. This is a very big difference, and it's almost 100% guaranteed that a smoker will have trouble sleeping at night. This is due to the amount of nicotine that they're not giving their bodies throughout the evening and night due to trying to sleep. Bone loss is another big aspect that we want to look at. It's said by health.com that those who smoke are likely to have 4.3% of bone density loss during a 20-year span of smoking, which is pretty average for smokers. So we want to keep that in mind. The more you smoke, the more weak your bones are going to present. Memory loss has been stated by the U.S. News Report to be a huge aspect as well. Smoking can, quote-unquote, cloud the mind, from what they've said. And if you just imagine your brain with a cloud of smoke around it, trying to get through this smoke cloud, this is going to cause your brain to work extra hard. We want to encourage people to stop smoking so that your brain can take a rest and see things clearly. The Journal of American Medical Association has stated that smokers have 40% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This type of diabetes is very, very risky for a healthy individual. And these smokers were calculated to smoke 20 cigarettes a day, which is on average pretty normal for a cigarette smoker. 12% of diabetes nationwide has been shown to be linked to smoking. The next thing that we want to talk about is SIDS, which is a syndrome of sudden infant death syndrome, which occurs when a female continues to smoke during her pregnancy. This is going to put both the baby and the female at risk. So we want to make sure to encourage, especially those who are pregnant, to withdraw from their habit of smoking and look to a different alternative, such as nicotine patches or electronic cigarettes that aren't quite as bad for you. Then the last thing that we want to consider is a heart attack and a stroke. Heart attacks and strokes are very, very common with smokers just due to the amount of work that their heart is being asked to do to compensate for their lung disorders. This is not something that we want to see a lot in the future. So the more that we continue to encourage these smokers to lay off the cigarettes, the less heart attacks and strokes we will be paying for and seeing in the hospitals. So like I said, even though cigarettes can be a stress reliever, I want you to think about the different options that you have, such as maybe a piece of chocolate or just take a day off of work, because we want to strive to stop smoking so that we can encourage you to have a better life, because this one cigarette can change not only your life, but those around you. Thank you for listening today.